Let me start again and say thank you everybody for joining us in this webinar. It's a long-awaited webinar that we've all been waiting for, talking to the missing voice of athletes, understanding their point, where they are, where they want to be, and asking them questions that they never thought we'll ask them today, which are so personal and so about them, and we want to know how are they doing it, being the top athletes in the country and still can be as humble as they are, because all of them that are here, that are my panelists, are very humble, these athletes. I know them personally, and I know that they are so humble, and I can attest to that point. And they've got issues around how we deal with them as leaders. And I hope that today they will open our eyes as leaders and talk to us. I'm going to take this opportunity and let each and every one of my panelists from different sporting codes, they'll tell you who they are, which sporting code they're representing, and what are they doing in their sporting code and their title in the sporting code. I'll start with the host, which is Bongiwe Msomi. Bo, it's your turn. Bongiwe, you must unmute yourself. Bo.
Hi everyone, and greetings, Ma. Thanks for this opportunity. I don't know if I heard you correctly. My connection is quite bad, but I am doing well. Lockdown has been long, probably the longest of the break that we've ever had. As an athlete myself, I coach as well. I've been dealing with so much. It's also different this year, and I know it's not only just me who thinks we having such a different year, having to think out of the box on how we adapt and how we carry on with the day. Things still need to be done, but how we go about doing it, obviously now that we can't see each other physically. But in all that being said, I am blessed. The year has some goods, obviously, and for that, I'm really grateful. I'm still healthy, and I hope everyone is doing well, and yeah, they're loving their time at home.
Thank you, Bo. You didn't tell them what sporting code you belong to and what is your position in that sporting code.
Bongiwe Msomi, the Spa Proteas captain. I play position wing, attack, and center.
Thank you so much. Kgothatso, it's your turn. Introduce yourself. Unmute yourself, Kgothatso, and introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kgothatso Munjani, also known as KG. I'm a wheelchair tennis athlete. Yeah, I was born and bred in Limpopo province, and I'm based in Pretoria. Yeah.
Thank you. By the way, tell them that you are the first one to go to Wimbledon. We have to flaunt it.
Okay. And in 2018, I became the first Black South African woman to compete at Wimbledon, and I ranked #1 in Africa and #7 in the world.
You see, that's what we want. That's what we want people to know who they're talking to. Baba, my captain.
Hey, thanks, Ma. First, I must express how extremely inspired I am to hear about, about KG's achievements, and also just, being surrounded, or at least virtually, by such phenomenal individuals in our sports industry. Well, like you put, Ma'am Cecilia, I am the captain of the Springbok women. My name is Baba Ralacha. I'm also the first African to play professional rugby abroad. I'm born and raised in Kailicha, so I'm through and through a Cape Townian, still based here in Cape Town. Kailicha, an LLB graduate and a columnist, most recently at a local online magazine called Cape 6 Export, and that is for me. That is me, basically, for now.
I like it. I love that part when you say for now. I love that part. And I'm going to hold it to you. I'm going to hold it on you. And you know that. For now. I like it when you said for now. Akona. Wow, this woman. Wow, this woman. Akona, introduce yourself.
Okay, refreshing evening. Thank you so much, Mama, for this opportunity. I really feel honored. I don't even consider myself as a professional athlete because hardly you hear people talking or taking referees serious. So I am Akona Makalima, known as the She-Ref. I am the only currently Premier Soccer League soccer referee, and I am a FIFA accredited referee, and I am Elite A CAF referee. So, yeah, so it is a great honor. It is a great honor to be part of these amazing and phenomenal women in South Africa. Yes, thank you. That's it.
You know, we've got forces here. We've got forces. Nusi, who joined us, is Bridget on the line or anyone else?
Yes, Bridget is here.
Is Bridget on the line?
Yes, I'm on the line.
Bridget, oh my Commonwealth. Let me not say, you'll say. How are you, Bridget?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me on the platform.
Please introduce yourself to the people here on this webinar. Sabelo, please mute yourself.
So my name is Bridget Hartley, and I've been a South African black border sprinter for 14 years consecutively for South Africa. So I would have been competing for the 15th year consecutively this year had we been able to compete internationally. I've been fortunate enough to represent South Africa at 3 Olympic Games in Beijing, London and Rio. I have a bronze medal to my name, as well as 3 World Championship bronze medals as well. And at this stage, I think I'm sitting on the fence with my career, but I'm working now as hard as I can in the interim and doing as much training as I can too.
Oh, wow. People could see the kind of panel we have here and phenomenal leaders of the future that are coming. And thank you so much, everybody, for attending. Is Bukiwa in, Nusi?
Shabnim is in, not Bukiwa. Shabnim is in.
Shabnim, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. Let's hear it from cricket. Let's hear it from cricket. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I hope everyone is doing well. Just a huge thank you to you guys, obviously, for inviting me to the webinar. Really excited and looking forward to what you guys have in stock for me. And then for everyone that doesn't know me, I'm Shubnam Ismail. I'm the opening bowler for the Proteas women's side, and I've been playing currently for the past 13 years.
Wow. We all see and understand who's here. Now I'm going to start shooting. You know, this is your webinar. I'm just a host and I'm just asking questions because I want to understand. So you can talk as much as you can. I'm not going to stop you. You must take it out today. You must be there and tell us what that we want you to know. Let me start with you. Bo, being a woman athlete, official and administrator has its own challenges. What are some of the things you have to deal with as an athlete, Bo? Now I'm talking about you as an athlete. What are the challenges that you have to deal with?
If I can start with this, Ma, from my side, probably when I started, it was more of the unknown out there. You all know that obviously netball in our country is still an amateur sport. So you kind of think you are at a certain level until you realize that you really know so much less than what you think you know. Sometimes it's not just about playing only and the only practice that you do at your own space. There's so much into it. If you think of, you know, some of the fitness testing that we do at a national level, I never knew about that until I got to be part of the system. And there's a few things. There's ways of how to do things when you get to a certain level. And I think if I speak of myself coming from a township, you get to learn all those things along the way. So there's a few things that I would think in my netball career, only if I knew this, back then, or at least in, say, 4 or 5 years' time, it will be great. But again, that's where I used to say it's quite amazing that I knew or I learned as I got, because I feel that's how you grow, and that's how you grasp everything at that moment and use it wisely, because sometimes the more information or the more knowledge we have can be either of negative or positive. So I've been really pleased with my journey, and quite excited looking ahead now of each and every step that I can still take and that I'm going to take, because I think that alone is quite exciting. But I have to say, during the lockdown, it's been really hard to train, prepare, and do everything on my own as an athlete. And in saying this, obviously I play a team sport, and you get quite used to being around your teammates and doing everything together. Then all of a sudden you have to learn to just be on your own and then do what you need to do. Lucky enough though, because with my experiences and throughout my netball journey, I've been...
Oh, you're frozen.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Bo? Nusi?
We can hear Bo. She's not frozen on our end.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I just said lucky enough because up until today, I very much respect the fact that as an athlete, you have to be disciplined and you have to really focus on what you need to do on your own, basically, to better yourself rather than anything else. And I think that's really helps. With all the challenges that we have now, I think it's really keeps me motivated to know how far I've come from and why did all that happen. So understanding that makes me realize that even this time now, it can be hard, but I kind of know what I need to do. So yeah, I think I've been pretty pleased. There's a lot of challenges. If I can have to start one by one, it will be a Bongi's webinar, and I don't want it to be like that. And challenges comes from, I would say, from home, from school, from having to play in the national side, from until today. So I think that's a long one. I'll give others a chance to go.
Thank you, Bo. Thank you, Bo. Let me go to Akona. Akona, you are the only female referee in PSL. Wow. How is the treatment? Tell us. You're working with men. You are actually a rose amongst the thorns. How is it, Akona? Talk to us.
Well, I'll definitely say it is not an easy task, number one, and it is not an easy or joyful or happy environment as people would think of it. There are a lot of challenges that comes from being a referee alone, and then there would even be more challenges having been to be a woman in the field that is dominated by men and dominated by people that think they own football, they were born for football, and they know football like the back of their hand. So you come as a woman trying to say, hey, I can do what you can do. The fact that I am a woman, the decisions that I will be taking or making in the field of play are not influenced by my gender. So now you come as a woman. Number one, they would question that: are you qualified? Do you even know the law? Even the structure of your body doesn't mean that you are a female referee, or I think you should look like this to be a female referee or to even be a woman that participates in sports. Questions like, why are you painting your hands? Why are your nails painted? Questions like, where do you come from? I am coming from the dusty streets of Ngamakwe. Where is she from? How did she even come to this level that she is participating on? And then you will be getting challenges from players, questioning each and every decision that you make because you are a woman. Coaches will also come and be questioning your authority, questioning your qualification, questioning who you are. They will tell you how you belong in the kitchen. They will tell you how this is not netball, and they will tell you a bunch of things that at some point when things are not going well, you can even start to believe it, that you know what, really, I don't belong here. I should be playing netball, or I should be. I didn't even play netball. Bongi, I'm sorry, I don't even know how to play netball.
I'm worried. I'm worried already. When you say Bongi, I'm sorry, I didn't play netball, and I'm a president of netball. Oh wow, Akona. Really?
That's what, you should have spotted me. I think I would make a very good netball player.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But with all those challenges that you need to prove yourself, you need to work twice as men. And you know, I used to be an athlete. I ran 200, 100 meters, and I've always known that I don't care what sports, but I will always excel. But when I came in refereeing, it was a different situation, because if you wanted to participate in the Premier Soccer League, you need to meet the standard. So what was the standard? The standard was that if you need to participate in the highest league of your country, you therefore need to run and pass the men's and international fitness test. And it was not easy. I failed that test 3 times before I can even pass it. And I told myself that if there was no woman that has never passed this test, I don't care who says what, I'm going to be the first woman to run and pass that test. But now I needed to change my mindset. I needed to challenge myself. And then I needed to tell myself that I don't care who you are, where you're from. You cannot tell me what I cannot do. Only myself, I can tell myself what I cannot do. So I needed to train twice as men. I needed to read the book twice as men. And I needed to be out there. And it doesn't matter they don't see me. It doesn't matter they don't regard me. It doesn't matter they question me. But what I told myself was that, you know what, woman, you can do this. You know what, you wanted, you chose this journey, and therefore you need to work harder. So I worked very hard regardless of those things, but I was blessed to have a province that was so supportive, to have the region and the district that was so supportive, even though sometimes I felt like, you know what, no, I'm quitting refereeing. Really, I look like a woman. You know what, I belong really in the kitchen. But I told myself that, you know what, go out there, work hard, and you will do it regardless they doubt you. If they doubt you, don't feel sorry for yourself. Work very hard and change your mindset. And voila, here I am.
Wow, Akona, let me say something to you from where I'm sitting to where you are sitting right now. Don't look at yourself as less of a woman. You are a woman. And you know what? Don't be unapologetic about it. Don't be, put that lipstick on, put that weave on, go and do your manicure and be beautiful as you blow those men. Yeah, that's the girl I'm talking about. Be beautiful as you blow them. And you know what? When they give you that attitude, let me tell you something. Return it with a smile. Return it with a smile. And you'll see. As we're talking about men trying to make us feel, small and that we don't belong, Bridget, you are in canoeing. And canoeing is all about men. We know men dominate canoeing. How is it for you in canoeing? And what is your mindset? Because I hear Akona's mindset. What is your mindset, Bridget?
So yes, there's definitely been loads of challenges for paddlers in a I could say a man's world, but I think paddling is more of an upper body physical sport that I somehow found myself in, thanks to being a student at Tux and my dad being a paddler, which I've really enjoyed. But through the years, it definitely has been challenging. In a way, it's been good as a female to have male training partners, especially for me to have junior boys to train with. But in the same breath, there's been so many challenges along the way when you enter competitions, and the prize money that they offer is sometimes half of what they'll offer for a man in the same competition, and our canoes cost exactly the same. We spend the same amount of hours training to get the same result, but they don't see that the women are able to get the same prize money. And we've had a few women really campaigning and helping out in a few competitions, and people have stepped up and it's become equal. But I think that's one of the really big challenges that we've had to face as trying to be professional sportswomen, knowing that it's not seen in the same light that we actually are professional and that we deserve the same amount of reward.
It's sad, Bridget. It's so sad because where I am as a woman, I would want to advocate for women to be treated the same. If we play football, Akona will agree with me. It's the same time, it's the same rules, it's everything the same. When you're pedaling, everything is the same. So why are we discriminated according to gender? That is one thing that we should also as leaders look into, because it's not up to you, it's up to us as leaders, and we need to look up to such things and at least try and do something about it. I liked it when the minister the other day, when we were doing EPG, when he talked to us, Minister Unathi Mthethwa, he said, too much of talking, it's time for action. And I also say it's too much of talking. I think it's time for action. Babalwa, it's going to be interesting what I'm going to ask you. You are like Bridget. Dominantly rugby is about men, and you are from Khayelitsha. Who thought in their wildest dream you will be the captain of the Springboks, the lady Springboks in the country, and you from Khayelitsha? Tell me, how was it? And how did you do it?
Well, in all honesty, I too never would have thought that I'd captain a national team, let alone a rugby team, especially because, I grew up playing soccer all of my life. And, my dream at some point was to one day play for Banyana Banyana, which never really materialized for the good, really. Discovered rugby at university, at the University of the Western Cape. And my journey took off from there, played on all levels, and then went on to captain the Springbok women to a World Cup qualifier, which is to take place next year. And, when I just take a step back and just, look at my journey, I've come to the realization that, what I do is not for me anymore. And, it's no longer about Baba Alwa, the girl from Khayelitsha, but it's about every other girl from Khayelitsha, from rural Eastern Cape, from KZN, from all over the country, all over the continent, who has ever had, a dream that could have been perceived as too wild, purely because of where you come from and where you are born. Because without a doubt, I can't run away from the fact that Khayelitsha is a tough place to grow up in, especially if you're a girl. It's no child's play, So I've sort of found not an escape route, but for the lack of a better term, I would call it an escape where I could, channel all of my energy, channel all of my frustrations to that. And while doing that, continue to be, an example to any young girl who thinks that, or believes, in fact, that, they want to do the same. It is possible, really it is, but it's not without troubles. It's not without challenges, particularly because rugby is a male-dominated sport. It continues to be, And, I think that to have a first professional women rugby player from Africa in 2020, for me, speaks to that, the sport is still primarily dominated by males. But what I am proud of is the fact that we're seeing an increase in female rugby players who are actually, embracing the sport in itself, embracing the idea that a woman can play rugby very well, and just almost blocking, our ears off to things like. And the unfortunate part, and as much as my community is supportive, I also get things like, why rugby? Don't you get hurt? And if you're a woman and you look different, your shoulders are a little bit broader than average, you're a lot more muscular, you're a lot more athletic, you just physically strong, that in itself is attached to a particular perception, that, there's just something not right with you. It's not acceptable yet to be a physically powerful woman. And I think that for me, rugby has given me that opportunity, that platform to embrace myself and to love myself a whole lot more, because this is who I am, this is my physique, and it has to be this way because I'm a professional rugby player, So I think that, we need to start changing the perception about women's sport in general, but particularly the male-dominated women's sports, and I've made it my business to try to speak about redefining the narrative, redefining what a female rugby player should look like, because we need to move away from those unrealistic, mediocre standards where you need to be sexy, you need to flick your hair, and all. Look, it's sport, it's aggressive, it's hardcore, and there's nothing wrong with that. The best athletes in the world present physically in a particular way. You look at your Caster Semenya, they are blessed with absolutely amazing genes. Their physicality is what makes them stand out. You look at Serena Williams, for instance, on her way to a 24th Grand Slam, her physical abilities, amongst other things, of course, hard work, dedication, all of those things, or what puts her, or what makes her stand out and makes her great. So I think that it's important that we start redefining standards. We start changing the narrative as sports people by being more vocal, by being unapologetically ourselves. Like Akon have put that she's not ashamed to be a female referee in the PSL where there are males. She's not ashamed to, to paint her nails if she wants to. She's not ashamed to, to have her beautiful curves and wear that kit with pride, that this is how I look, this is my shape, and if you're not happy with it, then then tough. So I think it's very important that we start changing that, so that our daughters and even sisters can be able to move around the spaces in which before we were not able to. So we may have voices and seats at tables that we were not able to in the past, purely because we were unapologetically ourselves. We can't apologize for our greatness, first of all, because I think that we are all great here in our different sporting codes. We can't apologize for that. And it may seem that we are cocky or egotistic, but the truth of the matter is we must own our greatness. Akona is great. She's a great referee. KG is a great tennis player, and that should be celebrated. And I make it a point that I celebrate it every day, to be quite honest. I appreciate it a lot because it paints a beautiful picture of women's sports and the sports codes that we participate in.
Wow, 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 Babalo. I'm taken aback actually when listening to you and how I would say to you, don't be apologetic of how you look, as I said to Akona. It's the kind of sport you play. Wants you to look the way you are, and embrace it. Let's embrace it. Let's. I want you to hug me actually because I'm so thin when it comes to you. So I want you to actually squeeze me a bit so as I can feel that squeeze. That squeeze from you. I would really love that. And I'm happy that you actually chose rugby. And the choice that you did was a correct one because look at where you are now. If you would have gone with football, you wouldn't be where you are. You would have taken another route. So I always say everything in life happens for a reason. So don't be apologetic about it. Akwana must not be apologetic of not being a netball player, or Bridget must not be apologetic of being, a cricket player or something. No, you must stay where you are. That's where God wanted you to be and where you should make an impact, where you are. And as we're talking about it, and I said where God wanted you to be, little do people know that Khotazo was not born the way she is. Khotazo, take us through your journey and tell us, how has it made you the person you are today?
Oh, actually, I was half born the way I am.
Yeah.
Okay, I was born with, a congenital defect, so it affected, growth of my limbs. So that's why at some point, my leg had to be amputated. And obviously with that, my parents thought it was good if I go to a special school because it was more accessible. So that's where everything has started. I was introduced to sport in that school. I mean, because where I come from, I was born in Hampatlele. It's rural areas, so we just used to people playing soccer in the streets, so that's sort of a sport that you grow up, seeing and knowing. So getting to special school, they introduced me to different sporting code, and obviously tennis being one of them, which it came on the last year of my high school, and at that point, I mean, you really want to be focused on your books. You don't want to be going around trying to figure a certain sport out. But it just happened that I was talented in this, foreign sport, tried it out, and yeah, people were watching, or the coaches, they were very impressed, and I took it up. They actually convinced me to actually pursue it as a career, because when I was in at university, they really sat me down and be like, try it out. Once you graduate, if you don't like it, you will stop. But then no one is telling you the pros and cons that comes with the with this sport, because that's just a part of frustration in the whole career as you grow up and you realize how much this sport is demanding, financially, because for you to have good coaches, good trainers, good psychologists, it's all money. Good training facilities, it's all money. So no one tells you about all that at the beginning, because at the beginning they just see potential, they just want to see you there. And as times goes by, you find yourself in the midst of this and you are by yourself, like Bongi said, it's just all about having to figure it out yourself, because once you realize you are in it by yourself, you need to make it work. And that was just me having to go to Wimbledon by myself. It's no coach, everyone has their own coach, but at that particular moment, that's not what you're thinking of. You like, how can I make this experience? So that's when you have to show up for yourself. So it is really important that as women athletes, because we know what we are subjected to in our country, to actually just show up for ourselves sometimes, because if we sit back and think things will change, sometimes they won't. So we really have to take that leap of faith that if I can do it, let me just do it with the little that I have, because that's how we're going to give hope to the other upcoming women in sport. And that's how we're going to, push going forward. And I mean, at some point, I would like to think our voice will be heard and, things will change.
I hope so. I hope so too, Khotato, that things will change as we talking like this. But as I said before, talk is cheap. We need to talk and do something. Today, you meeting as different professional athletes from different federations. This should be a start of something good for all of you. And as we're talking about that, Shabnim, you are playing cricket, and you playing cricket, it's a male-dominated sport, and you are doing so well as the women in cricket. How are you doing it? How do you do it? Tell me, how do you do it? That you are now better than the Proteas. We're calling a spade here. How is it? Tell me, how are you doing it? Shabnim?
I think we lost her. Oh, she's on, okay. I think we lost Shabnim. I'll try and locate her again.
Bukiwe, let me first start by greeting you. And please, before I even ask you any question, please introduce yourself and tell people who you are, which sporting code, which sporting federation are you representing, and who is Bukiwe? Tell us. Bukiwe, I know you're in. Bukiwe, unmute yourself. She's like, Amahle. Unmute yourself, baby.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Fine now.
Thank you.
Okay, hello everyone, but I will start by apologizing. I trained late today. I forgot about, I'm not forgetting about the meeting, I forgot about the time. I'm so sorry about being late, guys. I'm just happy to be here. Bukwenu Nina was born in Eastern Cape, Aitujwa. Very poor village. The last village in Aitujwa. I was playing soccer when I grew up. I went to Northwest for my high school. It's when I started boxing, 2010, as an amateur. I was training under my father. 10 Pro 2011. I won my SA title in 2012. I defended 5 times. I was the first one in South Africa, first female to defend my title 5 times. I won my title, my world title in 2017. But still, I didn't see any change since I joined boxing. There are people like Abosis Nonitenge, my role model. There's people like Abosis Unati Miegeni. There are a lot of girls who started boxing before me. But I didn't see any change. They decided to quit. So it's been a long journey. I've been talking since I joined boxing. They're saying the big mouth is fine. But I've been complaining about the things that we don't get as females. We don't get the same respect as men. We don't get the same money they get, but we train the same. I'm training with guys. We're doing the same thing. But for us, it's worse. We are women. We need more things to make our body, to maintain everything. Like example, when we are on our periods, it's very hard to train. We have to use something. But they don't get that. I'm a world champion, but I was defending my world title with the quarter demand that guys get. And I've been talking to media, I've been talking to everyone that I know. Nothing has changed. I even had a a one-on-one with the former minister, but still nothing has changed in female boxing. Even now, they're just quitting the sport. They are leaving. They decided to go to do other things, because in boxing, it demands a lot of time, a lot of your time. I train 3 times a day, every day. That means you can't go to work. You can't do other things except training, making sure that your body is in shape always. I don't go out with my friends because I don't have that time. But when it comes to payment, it's like I was wasting my time. I didn't give up for one thing. At home, they all love sport. My dad loved boxing. My 3 first brothers loved boxing. My sister and my younger sister. I was the only one who was in soccer. Then after I couldn't go for Banyana, they convinced me, I don't know how, my dad was good, yeah. They convinced me with my mom, you know what, why don't you join your father's gym? Because we know you love sport, instead of sitting doing nothing. Then I went there for fun, but it was quick because I was an amateur. 2010, 2011, I was a pro. 2012, I was already PSL champion. So it was quick. I didn't fall in love with boxing. I had to do it because I was already in boxing, so I had to do it. Then when I get there, I saw things that are different from guys, because I saw guys that are making a lot of money while we're making peanuts. Then I tried, from 2015, I tried to fight. I tried to talk to everyone, like, guys, let's just do this in the same way. But still, I didn't see any changes. The only thing they do in boxing South Africa, they're only changing their board. They don't give us what we need as boxers. They change their board every day. We'll see the CEO will leave without finishing the term. That means we have to start down, complain about the things we complained about last year. I will say we're lucky now because we have a female acting CEO, but I don't know what I'm expecting, because she's not working alone. She's working with people that maybe won't agree when she's saying something for us. But now I'm glad that you put me in this. So I'm not only fighting for boxing, women in boxing, it's women in sport. I have at least support on my back instead of fighting alone. Now I have powers that women in sport are saying this, because I noticed a lot of things. I attended Banyana tournament in Davidton. It was 2013. First thing I noticed, I noticed things fast. First thing I noticed, I saw their bus is very poor. While I always see Bafana buses fancy, I saw their bus is poor, very poor. Then I was like, what? These people are winning, like they're doing it. And then our boys, Jesus Christ, they're just, I'm sorry to say this, but they are useless. We need that money. We need that money. We need that money. Okay, I apologize for that.
Let's just say they are not performing. Let's say they are not performing. They are not performing.
Thank you. I'm sorry, but at all they are not. I didn't know there's a rugby. The women are playing rugby in South Africa. To be honest, I didn't know. I didn't know women are playing cricket in South Africa, because the media is not talking about that. I didn't know that they are tennis champions, world champions, because the media is not talking about that. We don't get media much. We don't get anything, in fact, from media. I was surprised to see Baba Alwa. I was like, and then I was surprised to see a female ref in soccer. Like, I was like, oh, this is happening, like, serious. I was surprised, like, in South Africa, you don't see that every day. and they don't talk about us. Like we need a voice. We need media, because people are on social media, people are everywhere. We need that publicity for all women. If I'm going outside, I've been fighting outside, I never saw people coming to the airport to welcome me. I never saw people coming to welcome a team, a rugby team. And those girls are performing well. I just Googled them, they perform very well. They deserve much better. As boxers, we deserve much better. I can't hear you now.
No, I'm here. I'm listening to you. I've just muted myself.
So I'm just happy that I'm part of this, and I hope we will work together as we started today and change women in sport and have our voice. I pray this is just the beginning of us growing every day.
We're talking like this because we want to hear your voice as athletes. Remember, I'm a president of a federation, and where I'm sitting, there's a lot of things that I don't know that are happening in a lot of things that players are doing. However, I'm not going to sit here and lie. I've got a very good relationship with the captain of the country. We talk about a lot of things, even though we don't agree on a lot of things. However, we want to make things happen because we have to, sometimes disagree on other issues so as we can move forward and do things that have to be done. But we also need to take a step. I hope that after this webinar, because we have recorded this, we will take it to relevant stakeholders, if we have to take it to relevant stakeholders, to listen to this webinar and say, this is what our athletes are facing, and this is what we don't want our athletes, especially our female athletes, to face such kind of things. We are here to listen to you. And as I'm saying, listening to you, I want to say to Akona, if you were sitting on the chair that I'm sitting with, and you were the president of SAFA in the country, what difference would you do in your federation?
Wow, that is a question. And I think I like this question. You know what, Mama? I would say, I like it when you said that in the beginning, it's high time we stop talking and start actioning. Because trust me, in all the federations, the visions are there. Everything that we want to accomplish, everything that we want to do is there, written black and white, but we don't action them. How do we then action them? Now, we need to also find people that are passionate about the sports. We don't need people that are going to fill in the seats and just enjoy the fruits of being in the seats, but we want people who are going to go out there and make it a point that things are being done, okay? And I would say, it doesn't matter how much you perform. If you are performing, and therefore it means that you need to be compensated for that, and you need to be paid. I believe that if we are working together, performing the same way, we therefore need to be paid the same way. And also coming back to our media coverage, you cannot say women's sport is not interesting. Who is supposed to make it interesting? Who is supposed to put it out there? It is our federations that needs to take our sports and decorate it the way they would want to decorate it. And also, I would say this thing is a win-win, and we need to work together. How are we working together? It means that in the office, you also need to work down with the athletes. And also athletes, you need not to be spoon-fed all the times. Spoon-feeding doesn't help anything. You also need to come up, raise the bar, and also match so that we can all work together. Because it doesn't help us complaining all the times that the offices are not helping us, the offices are doing this. What are we doing for ourselves to make it a point that we are decorating the sports that we love? And also we are bringing in those results that we want. And also if we talk about men's sports are generating more revenue than we are doing, than men are doing, because they would say that no, women's sports does not generate more revenue and does not attract more viewers than men do. But whose problem is that? Who is going to make it a point that you bring in the marketing of the women's thing, you bring the journalists to cover up all women's sports? Like Kunanina is saying. For me, I'm somebody that loves sports, each and every sport. I know about her, I know about Babalo, I know their achievements. Why do I know their achievements? I have to dig deep. I have to dig deep when I need to. But I tell you, if I need to know about the next footballer, man or Banyana or Bafana, trust me, if I open my Yahoo, it's up there. Why? Who is decorating that? And it's not the media, your super sports and everything. It is the media offices within our federations that should be decorating us, that should be decorating our sport, that should be putting all the work and the achievement that you are doing so that people can know about us. You would know that Banyana is playing in Tupsonville. It's only you that would know it. But when Bafana is playing, the whole country knows that Bafana is playing. Why? If Zolani Tete is fighting, I know Zolani Tete's fight a month or 3 months before. I don't know about Nonina when he's playing. I would know about the rugby Springbok, all their accolades, all their achievements, but I wouldn't even know what Babala has been achieving. Whose problem is it? It's our federation, it's our leaders, it's our marketing. It's the list goes on, Mama. I would say as a president, I need to make it sure that women are being decorated the matches and they are being celebrated. We need to plan, not only to put everything in writing, but to action everything. And another thing is that we also need to be looking at other countries. How are they achieving? How are they celebrating their women in sports? I would have to mention USA, because USA, it's no brain surgery. They are one of the leading countries that are celebrating, that are decorating their women. It doesn't matter, you play the non-popular sports, but they will know about you. The country will know about you, right? And now we cannot be unrun by Japans. Japans are new in sports, but trust me, they are doing it. Why are we not doing it? But at some point, we cannot be punching in South Africa all the time, because at some point when the good is done, we need to celebrate it. Because in Africa, South Africa is one of the countries that are doing well when it comes to women. Particularly, I would say that I feel sometimes that I'm very proud to be a South African in an era where you would find that the senior team women is being coached by a woman. The under-20 team is being coached by a woman. The under-17 team is being coached by a woman. At some point when credit is due, we need to clap our hands, but there's still a long way to go.
I love it, baby. I love it how you are. You are actually giving me tips. You're giving me so much tips, and I'm going to come out of this webinar so empowered as a leader, because we need to hear it from you guys. And when we hear it from you, it becomes, to me, it's something to listen to say, go home, Madam President, listen to what the athletes have been saying. And I'm happy that you are not from Netball, and you are from somewhere else, and you're talking to us like this. You know, Potato, let's talk about this thing of media coverage. I was not going to touch it. It was not part of my questions. However, the way it's coming, we need to address it. And I know that there's a lot of media. By the way, my panelists, there's a lot of media people here listening and listening here. Let's talk about media. Do you think that as a disabled athlete, as a woman in sport, or all women in sport, do you get the enough coverage that you need, that should expose you to say, you are the first Black woman to go to Wimbledon? You are #1 in Africa. Do you get if we don't know, if we don't Google it, do you see it out there like we see everything about everybody who is doing everything? Do you think that is they are covering enough? Rachel is here, is listening. Busisiwe is here. I saw them logging in. So they're here, they're listening. Do you think they're doing enough?
Yeah, those two are doing their best because they're so committed in women in sport. But you know what? It's crazy that you talk about Google. Google will tell you more about us as athletes than what the media actually covers in the country. Obviously, I mean, a lot can be done. Like you mentioned, we have journalists like Rachel Busisiwe. They have passion in women in sport, but they can't do it alone. We need more people like them who are so committed into the sport, who are going to make sure that they raise the awareness of women in sport, the profiles of women in sport, like they do. But a lot can still be done. It's not enough. It's not enough. Yeah, like I heard that the boxer talking. I mean, I didn't know much about women in boxing, and today here I'm shocked that we do have women boxers.
A professional one, by the way.
Exactly.
She's professional. She's just not a boxer. She's professional.
You see, so things like that, you get shocked when you just find out on platforms like this, like how are we having such talented, athletes in the country and we don't know about. So that really tells you that a lot needs to be done. But one thing again, when I do Mamzo, is that we don't have people like you. I mean, yourself, you played netball and today you are a netball president. So actually, you know what you're dealing with in your own federation. But in most federations, we don't get that. You just find administrators who are coming from wherever, who doesn't understand what the sport is all about. And that's where the problem is. And we're crying that sport is not growing or women are not being recognized. We're just dealing with administrators who doesn't know what they're doing. At the offices, you're running tennis, but you're interested in netball. How, like, it doesn't really make sense, because once we get people who really understand what they're doing, they will help to push this whole thing of women excelling as much as our male counterparts are. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, I hear you, and let me be honest with you. It's not an easy task to be where we are and to sit where we are sitting. I'm going to ask Babalwa a question now, and a question that is so much, maybe more personal than anything. Babalwa, how are you taken in Cape Town as a role model to young girls? Do they look at you as somebody that they want to associate with, or somebody that they only see on TV? Or are you that person that says, I don't talk to people because of I'm on TV and they're not, and I'm the captain or whatever? Because that's some of what you athletes do. I have to be honest. That's what you don't open up to these kids to be able to talk to you, to ask you questions, to smile with them, to encourage them. So what is that you do to make sure that that kid at Kailicha, as you walk on the streets, wants to be like you, even better? I say to people, don't want to be like Cecilia Molokwane, want to be better than me, do something better than me. What is that you're doing in Kailicha? Because as you said, it's a challenge. I liked it how you put it. It's a challenge growing up in Kailicha.
That's actually a good question, Ma, and thank you for that, because now you're giving me the opportunity to dispel so many misconceptions, or at least one of the misconceptions about, athletes and people that you see on TV now and again. Here in Kalicha, I am literally one of the community members. There is not much of a difference between me and you know, my next door neighbor. If anything, if I'm home, when I'm home, you know, my sister invites her friends and we just chill and talk, you know, and they actually listen to me. They look up to me. They're quite young and impressionable as well. And, you know, they always have questions to ask. Yeah, you know, they want to see this trophy, you know, they want to know about this and that. So my door is and has always been open to my community. And I think that it's very important as people who have some kind of influence to always be and a positive influence, always have, you know, words of positivity to share. Other than that, Mom, I'm very much involved in charity organizations in and around Kailicha. I coach rugby, girls and boys. I also run mentorship programs. I'm involved with physical sport and education, which is basically just that. We educate using sport as a vehicle for that, and the main focus is education and life skills. I'm quite involved in other organizations as well, like the Mayambela Foundation, by Mark Mayambela, who is actually a professional footballer from Kailicha as well, just over in C section, I live in B section. So, you know, that also speaks to the fact that if we could collaborate as sports people, you know, if we could work together and improve in our communities, I think that we could make, you know, some significant changes in our communities. And I think if you are a true athlete, a professional athlete, you will understand that the don't talk to me type of thing doesn't work. It will never work, because when I leave to play abroad, it is always, and it has always been my community that always have, you know, words of encouragement to share with me. When I first left to Spain, the airport was packed by members of my community. You know, I'd never experienced anything like it. It brought me down to tears. It was as if, you know, the Springboks were coming back with a trophy. That's how great of a support base I have from my community, and everything that I do is for my community. Because when I come back from overseas, when I come back from international duty, I come back to my community, you know. And one of the most important things, and that are quite close to my heart as well, is unearthing, you know, talent here in the townships, because I believe that it's there. I've seen it through my coaching programs. I've seen it, and the unfortunate part is that we are one of the most under-resourced. By we, I mean the townships and rural areas as well. So there are so many, you know, unpolished gems that are lying there waiting to be discovered. And I think it's also our responsibility, my responsibility, to make sure that we at least give the child a starting chance, you know, give the child the opportunity. Other than that, everybody knows me, everybody always wants to greet and have a chat. I'm open to that. I'm never ever. I don't think anyone can truly say that I'm that type of a person. That's just the way I am, and I'm very much appreciative of my community, I must say.
And please don't change. Don't change the person you are, and don't ever think that we always say when we reach a certain stage in life, we think, you know, we have arrived. That's how I call it. And that's the mistake that we do. Let me take this opportunity to acknowledge Hlompho Kekana, the captain of Sundowns football, who they just won the league over the weekend. And we say congratulations to Hlompho Kekana and welcome to our webinar. We are honored as Netball South Africa and the athletes that are here, that are talking, to have you as a man, you know, with us. And congratulations, job well done, by the way, Hlompho. And for the mere fact that you are from Limpopo, I'm biased anyway. It's Hlompho here to say hi to everybody, the captain. Hlompho, if you can hear me, unmute yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hlompho. Just thought I should just join you guys and, you know, get one or two thoughts of the environment. I'm new here, but I hope I'm not going to be a stranger in days to come.
Thank you so much, Hlompho.
Welcome.
We still say congratulations. Lifting
so
that
much.
trophy was not easy. Thank you so much.
I should thank you guys for welcoming me.
Bukiwe, you have said so much. You know, you have said so much, and I want you to say, let me say, you are the president of Boxing South Africa. What would you change in boxing?
To be honest, Mama, I won't ask much because as female boxers were not many in South Africa. At least any promoter that's staging fight, can you please put at least 2 female bouts? That means 4. That's changing. At least they will gain something. Then the next fight that is coming, at least put 2 bouts of females. At least we're gaining fights. Like, I would be happy to see, as if I'm sitting in the chair, to see every tournament in South Africa. It have TV or not TV, but every tournament in South Africa, there are 2 bouts or 3. If you have powers, then you can put the whole bill, it's fine. I'll be happy. But I will start by saying, if you don't put 2 female boxers, that means no one will will know about female boxers. So in your bill, every fight, like in South Africa, every month we have boxing. But you will find female boxers only in August. But if they can do that every month, we see women in their tournaments, people will start noticing them. Even when about Thulani Mbenge, they are fighting, because everyone loved Thulani Mbenge, love Nomeva. I once been in a bill with Nomeva twice, yeah. Nomeva Ndongeni. If you put females in those tournaments, their main bouts, it's fine. Even if you can put 4 rounders of females, people will see them. And they will see their performance, and they will start following them, and they will start having, because they are saying we can't put females because they don't bring sponsors and everything. But if they keep on putting them in their tournaments, everyone will fall in love with them because we give the same fight that the men gives. So if I was a president, I was going to say every tournament in South Africa must have two female boxers, and make sure that Boxing South Africa is sanctioning a tournament that is heavy, because we have to sanction by Boxing South Africa. They have to sanction a tournament that is having female bills, even if there are 2.
Yes, Bukiwe, I'm going to also now touch a bit on Bongiwe. Bo, you are in a federation where females are dominating. You are in a federation where is the #1 female federation in the country. I'm going to turn the tables around and say, what is the support that you think men should give women in sport? Bogi.
I would have loved to have a question of if you were a president of Netball South Africa. just what did you have changed, or what did you do? I would have loved that question.
No. I'm still coming, Bo. I'm still coming to that because I want to hear you. Yeah. I want to hear.
You asked me what support would I want from the male side. I think if I can be different in this, we are a netball, obviously, federation, and it's female mainly sports. It has men involved as well. And in saying this, it is quite hard to think of where we're sitting as females. And I'm just talking in general, as females now, where we act as netball, and to think of if we still don't have enough support from outside sources, from men themselves, from anybody outside, how our country that plays netball are going to get the support, because it needs to happen from obviously the female side to show that this can happen, if I can put it like that. I spoke with Babalo the other day, and we were talking about how sponsorship wise, if I can put it like that, if we negotiate sponsorships as females, if it's an athlete's sponsorship, if a male athlete negotiates, they can get, say, a package of 100,000 rands clothing. Same sponsorship package, you go and negotiate as a female athlete, you get 40,000 rands package. That alone tells you there is a problem in us getting the support from outside sources. And again, mainly, if you think of companies that sponsors female or women's sports, it's men most of the time. And those men have such a huge part that they can play in ensuring that the change that we need as women in sports happens. And that's, I'm really going to urge that it happens. Also, again, on our side, probably when we ask for sponsorships and when we sign deals and agreements whatsoever, sometimes we probably don't need to put ourselves short or just taking anything because we're just females and we just need some sort of support. If they can, the same kind of sponsorship can be negotiated for football and it can get to a certain amount, why not that certain amount come to netball? Is it probably because netball is just another sport, or it's just a female sport and no one really cares? With that being said, when we get to rankings for the country, and in this case, I'm going to speak about the Spar Proteas, no one would say because you're a Spar Proteas and you just play netball, and netball is not really well supported, we don't really care much. It's fine for you to rank 10th in the world. No one says that. They always expect results, and they expect you to rank first top 3 in the world. If that needs to happen, and I'm a female, and we all know, we spoke about physique and, you know, being fit, all of that. As a female, it's really hard. To get that to happen, I have to work even extra hard so I can get to a point where I can be able to compete first before I can even have a chance to win something. So that alone needs so much of support to happen. It can't just happen. It needs support in terms of the technical stuff. You need to get people that are really good in what they do to support the team, to support the girls, females, to really do what they need to do. So with that being said, I'm thinking here, we've seen a lot of sponsors out there, and if I can put it like this, mainly men lead the people who really support sports in our country most of the time. If we can get that acknowledgement from their side, because with all the supports that we can get, you can then get to support coaches, pay them to go in and do development work in the rural areas. With that kind of support in terms of sponsorship, you can get, let's say, umpires that you can coach, get them in, let them be, you know, have the qualifications to do the work. So it all just gets stopped by the amount of respect that we get as females in netball as well, in this case. And that respect that we deserve ends up, because we're not getting it, we're not really getting the support that we need, but we're expecting things to happen. And this is why I was saying, Ma, it would be nice, I would have loved you to ask me why, what I would do as a president.
So let me ask you that question, Bo. I want you to be at peace. I want you to be at peace. So I'm going, because I want you to perform for me. You know, I want you to perform for the country. So I'm going to ask you that question. If you are sitting in my chair and be a and be a president of netball in the country, what would you change?
I think, and I won't know really the office, like what happens in your office, but now let's say I'm the president. Firstly, I think it will be very important that I have a team that has goals that aligns with what I want to achieve. I think for me, that's really very important. You can have all the, you can have all your goals, you can have all your plans in place, If your team will not align, it will not be executed, and it will just cause problems rather than solving the issues. That's one. And secondly, obviously with the team now having to align everyone really on point and going together towards one direction, you would have to review performances. I would have to review performances. If Bongi is supposed to do 1, 2, 3, at a certain time, I would have to check if did Bongi do her job. We're sitting with Bongi here. We check if this is done. If not done, we need to find out why, so we know that we're not going to have the same problem again at a later stage. I think the main thing here for me, I will start in my office just to make sure that we all have the same goals, same strategies, and we align and everyone pulls in together so we come up with concrete achievements. The second thing is, as a sporting coach, I would definitely go back, find all the older or the past, for instance, in this case, national players. If you've played at a national level, I'll make sure I find all those players. If they don't have, obviously it's not everyone who wants to coach or work as in, let's say, netball manager or whatsoever, but if one is keen, I'll get those people, obviously empower them if they have to do some coaching courses or whatsoever, and spread them around the country to go and develop the sports. So we stop the fact that if Bongi played netball and she stopped, it's done with Bongi. Yes, she was a national player and she had so much information. She has so much experiences. She went and played wherever I played, but as soon as she's done, then that's it. So doing that, we will be creating sort of a workspace for people, because as soon as they start being coaches, it will mean they can get some incentive, if you get what I mean. And it's not like we don't need netball coaches to be volunteers until they stop coaching. Can they be supported in terms of financial support, in terms of equipment, you know, all those things. So we ensure that especially in rural areas, in township, we develop athletes holistically from the information that top athletes that represented our country will go around and share in each and every province, if it's a province or district. Then we don't get to the top and having lack of players that missed to get so much information from the top players that just stopped and they were nowhere to be found. Another thing, Ma, if I can put it like this, I know we don't want to talk about money, and I like, for me, this might sound different. I like working with you.
Talk about money, Bo. Talk about money. Talk about anything.
Ma, we sit with you, and I know sometimes we get frustrated because of the conversations that we have. Might seem like we're not doing much, but some of the things that we're working on really are quite exciting. And I spoke with Babalo over the phone the other day, and I said to her, it's up to us to try and change things, and it is the time now. So when I spoke to you, for me, it was very important that we contract players at a national level. I'm putting this out there so people know that these are the things that you go through behind the scenes, because we sit and we don't smile about this, because we know we go to work, we do not have enough time to prepare if we're not well supported in terms of finance. And besides that, the finance part of it, I need to know that a physio can look after me, and that needs money. I'm at home now. If I'm training, who's supporting me? How is this all going to link in? And the fact that you can support players at a national level, it means they are binded by something in writing to say, you are part of Netball South Africa and you are expected to do 1, 2, 3. And these players know they should expect 1, 2, 3 from you as well. That alone makes a player from the community, from Hammersdale, to want to play at the national level, because they're probably looking at even a minor thing as having a contract to being a national player. That's one. All those resources that comes with it really helps if it's out there and players knows about it. We have to have that kind of support, even if netball in South Africa is still not a professional sport. We can take that step. We can take that step, and it's going to help so much in having a baseline in terms of where we're sitting, who gets what. You know, I know as a player what I'm working on. Babalo said to me the other day, she thought that netball is having it all their way, because we obviously mainly women's sports, people would say, although we have men. But again, I said to her, the challenges are still out there. And I think it's probably because we're women, and women in our country have challenges in terms of, the support that they get. Again, I'll change. I'm going to say this, probably one last thing. There's men out there who plays our sports. And we talk about now how we as females want to be covered and well looked after, and we need to change things for females. Now, just along the way, and I know you do this, get them involved, give the support however much you get as a president, just to ensure that we are out there and willing to encourage people who love our sport. We're open to that, yet we're still pushing through to support our females and to ensure that we take them to the next level. It's all going amazing, and we can talk and talk. There's things that needs to be done, but it all starts, I would say, inside your house, in the office. Are you happy? Are you aligning with your whatever that you want to do? Because you can have it all. If it doesn't align with what's happening inside the office, then obviously the work won't pull through.
Yeah, I think you're happy now, Bo, because you told me what you do. Because you had the opportunity on a webinar to tell me what you do. And I've picked up all those points, and I've noted them seriously. And when I say I note something seriously, you know me better than anyone who's here. When I say when I note things, I did note them. Akona, let's talk about this one. And I know you're going to be vocal about it, but I want you to be so vocal about it and talk about it. Okay. Are women taken seriously in predominantly male-dominated federations? Are women taken seriously?
Unfortunately not. Yeah, unfortunately, I'd say not. And I think one of the reasons why is that, one, we as women, we also don't have representatives in decision-making. So that is one reason. And the second reason would be that we would have women in the decision making. When it happens, they knock in the door. Finally, the door is open. When the door is open, they sit in the table. What do they do when they sit in the table? They become they're now not vocal enough, or they don't know what to do or what to say. What is important now for women is that we need to know what is it that we want before we can do anything. Before we can want to be taken serious, we need to take ourselves serious. And we also need to take what we believe serious. Because now, if you show up in a male-dominated sport, they'll okay, they've done favors for you. Okay, no, you honestly don't belong here. And somebody else is doing you favors by you being here. And now there is a question around between women empowerment and gender equality. And the minute we talk about gender equality, they automatically think that we don't belong. They automatically think that we are being given favors, okay? Mm-hmm. And the reason why is that they would say we want 60% of women. Are they qualified? Do they meet the standard? Can they do A, B, and C, all right? And when we come back and say, let's empower women, empowering women is a different situation than gender equality. So when we empower these women, we know that you are this person, and therefore you are capable of doing this, and therefore we are giving you all the opportunities that you need and all the opportunities that you belong. And they won't take serious. They won't take us serious if we don't take ourselves serious. And they won't be vocal for us if we are not vocal for ourselves. And this is what I always say. Even in my field of work, I always say, raise the bar for me. For me, you can raise the bar and I'll make sure I meet the standards. I don't care where you come from. And when we sit as women and say we want to be taken serious, we need not to fall short. What do I mean by saying fall short? Is that when they don't take us serious, we also cheat ourselves, right? When they don't take us serious, we tend to relax. And now when you are given the opportunity that you've been talking about, you've been requesting, that you've been hurling about, when you're given that opportunity, you sit down, you are not ready because you've been cheating yourself. My question is that, We are now faced with a situation where women want opportunities. Women want to be given opportunities. Women want to be taken serious. But when they get the gap, when they get the chance of performing the task or doing whatever, we don't deliver. So who is going to take us serious when we are being given an opportunity and then we relax, we don't perform, and then we are not ready, we are not fit? Until we take ourselves serious, trust me, they will take us serious. But at this present moment, I still feel, even ourselves, we still have a long way to go. We need to strengthen ourselves. We need to empower ourselves. I always say, I cannot expect men to empower me when I am not empowered. I cannot expect men to empower me when I cannot empower the next girl. When I cannot say to the next girl, hey, here is a soccer boot, go and be the next me. When I cannot say to the next girl, you need a whistle, take this whistle and be the next me and multiply. This is what you, mama, need to do to Bongi and say, Bongi, here I am. I have this particular skill that I have acquired. And this skill, I can transfer it to you. Dear, go, Bongi, be the next me, multiply. And then Bongi, make it a point that in KZN, you have girls that you will do the same thing, be the next you and multiply until such a time they will also take us serious.
Yeah, you've actually, I want you to follow up on something that you have just said, and because that was the next question to one of the panelists. But as you have said it, do you think women leaders are doing enough to empower the new generation? Look, I'm sitting where I am, and I'm going to be honest. We love sitting in positions for so many years. I don't understand why, but we love sitting in positions for so many years. By the way, I'll only do my 2 terms if I have to do my 2 terms and I'll go. That one I can say it even in front of the media and everybody, because I don't, I always say sometimes sitting long on a position makes you not to think anymore. It makes you think like you are rooted where you are and there's nothing and nobody bigger than you or anything. So to me, it's like, do your job, do what you have to do your legacy, get out there. Do you think us as women, where we're sitting, especially, look at female presidents in the country. Okay. I'll tell you something that is going to shock you. I'm the only female black president of a federation in this country. Wow. It will shock you, what I've just said. It will shock you. And we need more of Cecilia. I cannot be the only female black president in the country. It can't be. We need more female black president. Look, we've got Kim. I can count the female presidents we have in SASCO. We've got Kim from canoeing. It's me from netball. I think that and Sasa Mahlangu from actually she's from USA. It's not even a federation. It's USA. It's from a university sport. So when it comes to federation, I think we are the only 2 women in the country who are leading federations, and this is wrong. And I'm saying, what do you think is that? Do you think we're doing enough? Let's talk about Cecilia and Kim. Okay. To empower the new generation.
I'm going to ask you one question before I answer your question.
This is my webinar. I'm asking you. You don't ask me. I'm asking you questions. You're not asking me questions.
Okay,
but I'll answer.
I would basically say, yes, you are trying your level best. Reason being is that for you to even start by coming up with a webinar like this, that is number 1. It means that you are plowing back, and therefore you need people to follow on your trend. So that is why I would say, yes, you guys are trying. But the problems that we are facing as athletes coming up as leaders, with having you guys as leaders, is that majority of the times, women in leadership they are very much intimidated by the juniors that are coming up, thinking that, hey, Bongiwe is here to take up my space. This so-and-so is coming up and she wants to take up my position. But my question is, wouldn't you be so proud that your student would take up your position one day? Wouldn't you be so proud when you look at Akona Makalima one day being the president of an association? Think about when you planted all of this, when you opened, when you transferred your knowledge and your wisdom to me to say, one day, this is what I want you to be. Instead of being intimidated by my power, being intimidated by what I have. Remember, when you are transferring your skills, I am also, as your junior, as your young athlete, also acquiring other skills that are gonna make me better than you were, because you said to me, go and be the next me and multiply. So when you said that, it means, Akona, not even the sky can limit you. It means that the next president of netball needs to be even more than you, because when you've seen all the loopholes, now with the next president, with the seed that you are planting somebody that is going to be even more than you, right? So at this particular moment, I'd say, yes, you are trying your level best. And we need women like you in decision-making that are not apologetic, that are not being shaken by the powers of men, by what men can do. And we need women like you that say, you know, listen, I don't want to be a man. I want to be a woman in this position. I want to wear my hair the way I want it. I want to be beautiful the way I want it, and still be vocal and still be in the decision-making and changing the world, changing the narrative, and also changing our generation. So yes, but still, we still have a long way to go.
Remember, Akona, we are the change that we seek. We are the change that we seek. And if we are not going to think about that, we are the change that we seek. I always say, I want to be the change that I've been looking for. I don't want to blame anybody. I don't want to blame anything. I just want to get into a space and do something different. Bukiwa, let's talk about money. You know, let's talk about money. It's a sensitive issue, but we have to talk about it. Why do you think men are getting more compensated than women? And do you think that it's correct that we're there? And if not, what is that we should do to rectify that? Because I always say to people, let's not only complain, but come up with solutions. So what if it's not? What is that you think should be done? And after you talk, Babalwa, I'm going to say to you, sponsorship. You were talking with Bongiwe about sponsorship. Why are we not sponsored as women like men are sponsored when we are in the same federation? You are the captain of rugby of women in the country. Tia is the captain of rugby of men in the country. Why are you not treated the same? Why are you not paid the same? Let's get the two to address that. Hlompho, it's here. I know it's not his webinar, but I have a question for him. Don't worry. Yes, there's Bukiwa.
Okay, Ma. I will start by saying, female boxing is new in South Africa. It started 2005, somewhere there. But they didn't put more attention to it. So no one knows about female boxers. Remember, when you're staging a fight, you need a crowd to make money, and you need sponsors. And then you need entertainment. I'm not saying we're not doing that. And the media, SABC, check before they come to you, check the bill, how exciting it is. Same as SuperSport. So someone once told me when I asked a fight, it was 2018, and I was already a world champion. And she was a woman. And at that point, Sis Akona said, the women, they don't support each other. She said to me, Nonina, you know I love you, but this is business. Women don't excite me. I was okay with that because there are many promoters in South Africa, and I knew one day I would say this. We as women perform as men. And if you can put me in the ring with another man, I can do better, but it's not allowed.
I like
but it's not allowed.
I like that. We want to challenge that. We want to make the challenge.
I can, but it's not allowed. We're not even allowed to spar in the gym together. Yeah. You know, if they can give us that opportunity to be active, always in the ring, obviously will attract fans, will attract sponsors. Like now, I've been a world champion. I've been 2 times SA Boxer of the Year. I've been a boxer fight of the year in the world at WBF, but I don't have a sponsor because South Africa is saying women don't attract business, they don't attract fans, they don't attract media. So it's something that is up, that in need, like, I don't know, we need to raise a voice that we women, we can do this, or we can have our Mom Cecilia to promote us. We have another female who will stand up and promote us. We have many businesses that are run by females in South Africa, but they don't know most of them, they don't know much about sponsoring the sport. So if you can have people who will represent us, like to tell them what we need as females to build each other. So we need something like that, like being like someone. I'm in boxing. Boxing is taking a lot of my time. Sometimes, as individually, I do promote myself. I do market myself. I ask people to do my profile. I send my own profile. I sometimes, because I have friends that are in media, I ask them an interview. They will give you that interview. But if I don't have someone who will do the same to support me, and the managers that we're paying, they're not doing enough. And the trainers, it's not their job, but the managers we're paying, as a boxer, I pay a manager to do all those things, but they're not doing enough because they have that mentality that female boxers, they are not giving enough. They are not well presented. I remember my late manager, he went to this guy, they met in Eastgate. He went to this guy and say, I have this boxer. He didn't say she, he just represented me. The guy was so happy. Last moment, then when he said, it's she, the guy was like, you're joking.
Are you serious?
Because they don't, I'm serious. I lost the sponsor because of that. I'm a woman. But my performance, I was rating number 5 back then in the world, and we were 180 something in my division. And I was rating number 5. Now I'm rating number 3. I'm still struggling with the same thing. I had a title shot in April. I was supposed to fight for another world title. But still, I don't have, we don't have that publicity that sponsors will fight with us. Like, will fight for us. Will fight like a one money. Because we are women. If I was a male, I was gonna wear like different things in my body, but because I'm a woman. So we need people like you. You started this, you want us to talk. We need someone like that who will come and give us that opportunity to talk. And then, because what is happening with women, we settle for less. If the promoter can come to me and say, Nonina, defend your title with 100,000, while the title costs 500,000, I will say, okay, because I do need to fight. But since I said no to another promoter, I never got a fight again. Because I said no. How can a male charge so much per round, then I'm not allowed to charge the same? but I didn't get enough support. That is why I'm saying we need people like you. And I'm glad that our acting CEO now in Boxing South Africa is a woman. She knows, she's been in boxing for a long time. She knows what is going on in that office. So I think now she will listen and make means, and I pray that happens, because our last celebration of August last month with I call her my mom, she's a promoter in South Africa. This is Joyce Akungwayo, I think you know her. The CEO said by next year things will change. But if they're not changing, I'm standing up, and I know I have a support from Joyce, and now I have a guts, because I have you, I have a guts. This is guts. I have a guts in you. So, and I have a guts in different ladies here. So I think if it's not changing next year, I'm still saying the same thing, but not alone, with other women. So I'm motivated, like seriously.
Let's be the change that we want to see. I mean, I didn't know about your challenges and everything, but I knew that in this webinar, we will understand your challenges and know them. And we are not just going to know them. By the way, I'm a SASCOC board member. There is no way that I can keep quiet about such issues. They know me, I'm very vocal. I'm not apologetic about who I am, what I believe in, and my principles. So I'm not going to keep quiet. We will talk about them, and some of the things have to be addressed. If it means that we need to amend the constitution of SASCOC to say, let men and women in all sporting codes end the same. Let it come from SASCOC, let it be like that. So it's something, it's done, but something needs to be done, because we cannot keep quiet about this anymore. We need to treat our athletes the same, and we need to praise them the same. We need to value them the same. We need to appreciate them the same, and we need to make sure that you feel that you belong, not that you are being made a favor of where you are, because that's your talent, God-given talent, and you need to use it. Babalwa, that was a question for you.
You know, it's such a, for me, it's such a sad question, to be very honest with you. It's sad that we should even be, you know, discussing such things. But the reality, the unfortunate reality is that, you know, it's happening. And like, so like the captain of the national team, I'm without a sponsor of any kind, with an excellent sports CV. The sponsorships are just aren't there. I'm not coming. And even the Springbok women are currently without a sponsor. So the issue of sponsorship and financial support is quite huge and far-reaching. And I think that you know, when we look at the bigger picture, women's rugby is also young in South Africa. We're only 15 years old. You know, we're still trying to grow the sport. We're still trying to have it played more on different levels, especially grassroots levels at junior levels. You know, we're still trying to make our mark on the international scene. I understand all of those things. Really, I do. But now the problem is beyond rugby. It's a women's sport problem. So we know what the problem is. So now how do we address it? I think the first thing that we need to do is that we need to add commercial value to women's sport. I think one of the better tools in which we can use that in my view that we can use is policy, global policy, where that specific policy speaks to the commercialization of the sport, from popularizing it in terms of media, buying media houses, buying broadcasting houses that at least maybe 50% of games be women's sport. We can bind organizations and federations that a particular percentage of their budget must go to marketing of various sports. And I think if we can market the sports correctly, you know, by doing so, effectively changing perception of the general public, because whether we like it or not, the public are visual creatures. They follow what they see. If they don't see women's sport on television, they will not want to get involved. If they do not hear about it, they won't be interested. So I think we can model the sport a lot better. We can make it attractive, you know. Hopefully, by doing so, that then will attract sponsors. Will want to get sponsors on board, because that would mean then we are somewhat generating revenue, because you have to buy broadcasting rights, you have to, you know, add some kind of commercial value to the sport. And I think whether we like it or not, sport is a business, you know, and the unfortunate part is that the focus tends to be more on the business side of sport, you know, almost not paying much attention to the lives or the livelihoods of the athletes involved, which is I'm happy we have such a conversation. And so how do we then make our sport, make women's rugby, for an example, make money? Investment. Investment is very important, because if we make a large investment, we are more likely to get a larger, you know, outcome. And also, it's important that we also produce the results, because the honest truth is that whether we like it or not, sports is results driven. We want to see results. Almost doesn't count in sport. And the unfortunate part is that these big corporations, they want to support winning teams. They want to support surefire money making and generate revenue generating, you know, things. And I think if we can have an honest conversation with ourselves, and you know, the heads of federations can actually, you know, look at themselves honestly and say, are we truly doing justice to women's sport? Are we truly doing justice to the individuals who eventually make up the team? You know, it's embarrassing to me, to be honest with you, to have to engage with media and answer the question as to why don't you have a sponsor? Who sponsors you? And the answer is no one. Why is that? And you know, and the frustrating thing is that you get certain females in certain positions within certain federations that will tell you not to talk about these things because you are creating bad publicity. And the reality is that we must talk about these things. You know, imagine if a male rugby player with my CV, where that case would have been, their level of living, or their, you know, their style of their life would have been like, you know. But because I am who I am, I'm this black female from the townships who does a level best, has played on all possible levels in the sport, has gone far and beyond, even made history within the sport, still lives in Kalicha, still is without a sponsor, still is without all these niceties. And don't get me wrong, what we do, in fact, let me speak for myself, what I do has got nothing to do with wanting, you know, a comfortable lifestyle. But the reality is that sport has the capability of providing that comfortable lifestyle. It has the ability to change lives for the better. There should then be a step up of how I live, of how my family lives. You know, I should be able to make a good living. And it also comes down, like Bongi said, it comes down to professionalizing the sport. Because if you are amateurs, you most likely are not going to get the necessary support. So if you are to professionalize the sport, the perfect example of this is the Springbok Women's Sevens, or affectionately known as the Imbokotas. Fully professional, and they have a certain sponsor backing them. And we've seen the growth rate because the growth rate which can be linked to them actually being professional, to them having financial backing. So there's a link between proper financial support, proper sponsorship, and contract professionalizing sport and good performance. So I think that we really need people in top positions who are genuinely interested in growing the sport, who are genuinely have the best interest of women's sports at heart. And I think then from a point of departure, we can then start making changes from there, legislate on these issues, because we are not bound by anything currently. No media house is bound legally to broadcast a women's game. No one is bound legally. So I think we can also use a legal framework, a legal approach, a policy-driven approach. Then make sure, like we must have dedicated foot soldiers who are going to make sure that we implement those policies on all levels that it affects. So important things: commercialize the sport, make it commercially viable for the athletes, and just a greater investment altogether. Investment does not only mean financial; it means resources, expertise. It means your coaches, your nutritionists, and what have you. And I think that the sports, the male sports geniuses must come on board now. I think now's the time for them to come on board, and we are not saying that we are excluding them when we talk about women's sports. For me, it's more about gender inclusivity and being able to sit at the table with them and collaborate and say, hey, look, clearly you have more influence than we do currently, so how can we then work together and move forward? And I think those things are quite important, that we get the relevant people on board, people who have a genuine interest in women's sport, and try to forge a way forward.
Wow. Yeah, I'm learning so much from these girls today, and I'm so happy that you've opened up my eyes. You might think like, oh, this is Mama Cecilia, she's there, she's this woman president, whoever. One thing that you must know, girls, and I'll tell you today, never be apologetic of who you are, never be apologetic of how you look, and never be apologetic of your achievements. Celebrate your achievements. We'll help you in celebrating your achievements. And let's work together in making sure that one time when I want to talk to you again, I want to see each and every one of you having a personal sponsor, because you're doing so well in your own space, in your own federations. And that would really make us, be proud to say, at least the webinar that we have, we're going to make this viral. We're going to make this webinar turn viral. So it's people that are in the highest decision-making, bodies, hear you out, understand your frustrations, understand your challenges, so as something should be done. Bongi, I know we are left with 9 minutes. What is your last words to a player who's looking up to you and wants to be a Spa Protea player and wants to rub shoulders with you? How can they do that?
Mine is to say I'm very big in trying to get even more players playing the sports that I've enjoyed, the sport that's changed my life completely, to something that I really look back and I start getting so excited even for what lies ahead. So probably I could say, even doesn't matter from what level, but if you want something, you've got to work for it. And for me, there is no other way of pushing around in trying to get to a certain stage without having to work for it. And also with us being out there, use the people that are out there to help you achieve your goals. And there's a few times, even myself, I find myself making phone calls to ask for ideas. A few times I've asked you, Ma, for certain ideas, and it's not to say you don't know, it's to say you can always hear other people's opinions, and how you go about then taking that and using it, it's always up to you. But also I work with a lot of kids, especially back home in Hammersdale. I have a club there that we actually help to make sure that we still develop the sport and just give a chance. When I played, it was my coach, who was my high school teacher, who helped me, literally financially coached me, and he's a male, and I'm excited for this because then there are some males out there who are really looking after us and who are supporting us. So we try and give back, and it's in me that I want to do that. So at any time, my door is always open. I have my cell number. I think it's even on my social media. I chat with so many kids out there, very open to that. And we can always do what we can, and however much we can, but obviously some of the things would limit us along the way.
So, Kgothatso, thank you, Bo, for your words and for your words of encouragement, especially to a little girl who's looking up to you. Kgothatso, there's this young girl who's sitting out there, and she's thinking that it's not possible to be a Wimbledon, a participant, or next, a champion, because I believe you'll be one. What do you tell that little girl that her mother is saying to her, you are disabled, you can't go out of the house, and keeps her there? Give her courage. Give her courage.
I would say it's not up to anyone to actually tell you what you can and what you can't do. It's entirely up to you to go out there and put yourself out there and explore what is it that you can and you can't, and that's when you would know what is it that you can do. So don't listen to what people say about you or say to you, because people will always feel sorry for you because of how you were born or how you are. But it's really up to you to actually make a move in your life, because you just owe it to yourself. So yeah, and find something that you're passionate about, because once you're passionate, then you would know what to do next.
Noni, talk to us. Talk to a little girl that sees you on TV and wants to lift that belt. You leave them like that. Wants to lift the belt and become a professional boxer. Give her courage, because it's not easy. Give her courage.
I will tell them few things. Nothing is easier in life. Even the books that you're doing today, they are not easy. Waking up every day to face the day is not easy. You have to work. And second thing, don't do things because your friends are doing. Do what makes you happy and what you feel you are good to do. If you want to be a boxer, your friends are models. Do boxing. Don't go for modeling because your friends are doing that. Stand up for your own self. If they're telling you you're not good enough for that thing, show them the other side of you and do your best. You won't go wrong.
Babalwa, there's a child in Limpopo, in the rural areas of Raramakgapula, who plays rugby on the dusty grounds of Raramakgapula. What do you tell that kid? What do you tell her?
I've always said this, that your current circumstances have got nothing to do with your potential and where you can be. I've living evidence of that. And the most important thing is to visualize something greater than what surrounds you. Even if you're on a dusty pitch, close your eyes and see yourself in a stadium packed with people. You're playing a World Cup final. The pitch is green. Everyone is cheering for you. You should be in a position to visualize something better than what you're currently in. And it's not easy. We have to be realistic to that young girl. It's not easy. It won't be easy, but it will definitely be worth it. That I can guarantee, that it will be worth it, because not only are you pursuing your passion for yourself, but you are pursuing it for your family, for your community, and everyone else who believes in you. So believe in yourself first as well, so that whoever else doesn't believe in you won't matter, because you're the first one that needs to believe in yourself. And lastly, key thing and the realistic thing as well is that let girl be well-footed and well-balanced. Pursue an education, because that is your legacy. No one can take a degree from you, away from you. It is yours. It is yours, and that will empower you even after the sport. Sport is fun, and we love it. But my child, please go to school.
Wow, wow, wow. I'm touched. I'm touched, Babalo. I'm touched. Akona, it's not easy. I want to be a referee. And I'm a little girl looking at you on TV, blowing Kaizer Chiefs versus Sundowns. And voila, Sundowns wins the premiership and Akona is blowing. How do you encourage me to say it's possible, it can be done, even though it's not an easy road? What do you say to me?
I think the ladies took my words, Mama. Most importantly is that you just need to believe in yourself, believe in your craft, and also be patient with the process, because Rome, we know Rome was never built in one day. Don't think that you see me now blowing the Premier Soccer League, it was all smooth sailing. Doesn't happen like that. And most importantly, discipline, dedication. If you are not disciplined, I don't care how talented you are, you're not going to last in the system. I don't care. And also, you also need to believe in your strength. It doesn't matter. I love what the girls are saying, that do not allow anyone to tell you what you cannot do and everything. Just believe in yourself and work hard. Young girls, you think that everything is easy. We need to work hard. We need to work hard. And all the times when I go, I always say discipline, discipline, discipline. All the professional athletes that you see, all your Serena Williams, all your Bongiwe that you see, they have put in some work and they are disciplined. If we can be disciplined, I like the question that you asked, that also we need not to treat ourselves, I don't touch me, I am a professional athlete, I am a celebrity and I'm seen on TV. It's not about that. We always need to go back and be kind, be kind, be kind, be kind. And also be respectful, have a lot of respect for other people and reach out.
Hlompho, your last words to encourage women in sport. Talk to them as a champion, as a Bafana player, and as one of the role models of a lot of players in the country. What do you say to the women in the country, Hlompho?
Mama, I think firstly, let me just say, as South Africans, we don't support each other. South Africans don't support their own people, so that's the fact. But going back to your question, I think women needs to be a team now. Needs to be a team on their own, because they can see what's happening in the industry that we're living in life that we're living. They are coming second every time. So they need to understand that, and they need to support each other. From it start with them, and then they can take it to another level or another space where people needs to understand. But you can seek for support while you're not together, or while you're not a team, because you're going as individuals. You're looking down at Bongi, you're looking down at KG, but you're seeking for respect. So my belief is you need to start to be a team first, And then while you strong, you can approach everybody. You can approach anyone. You can approach any company that needs to be approached. And I believe in South Africa, in sporting code, we don't take our athletes seriously. To be honest, we just celebrate them from afar. We don't even check their difficulties that they are facing. As a result, we're just waiting for them to win. We don't know what made them to win. We don't know what the process in them to get there. But we're waiting when they bring the medal from wherever, from Dubai. You don't know how he gets to Dubai or she gets to Dubai. For instance, when you talk about the sports in South Africa, for instance, to be honest, if I can tell you now, the national teams that are very, very much looked after are two sporting codes, which are cricket and male rugby. Those are the two that I know when they are looking for sponsorship, they will easily get. You look at KG, who is going to Wimbledon, and she has to go and back Standard Bank for a finance, which I believe that has, as a country of our own, with so many resources, we don't have to live like that. We're paying so much tax. I believe companies should be forced. Government should force companies to invest in players. It should be a must. It should be a policy that government says, okay, you are paying tax. We don't want your tax. This tax must go to athletes, so that the athletes should know that they've got support. At the moment, athletes, they go to whatever training field, hoping things will get better. But you and I now, we can have conversation to say, no, athletes needs to be looked after. We need to professionalize this and this and that. But if we don't have financial support, I don't think at a sport where Bongi is talking about will succeed, because we're only looking at the Proteas to represent us. Whereas Mohadi in the village, who's hoping to play for the Proteas, doesn't know the levels in which to get there. So there's so many gaps in between the professional level, the amateur level, and maybe in between. We need to create that environment where a kid can just come from a village and go to train with the Proteas. We're not saying they must play a match. We're just saying they need to have that space in which they showcase their talent, because some talent in South Africa is very raw, to be honest, very raw. Because you find myself, for instance, I've never been to an academy school, and you ask yourself, where do I get the skills? And it's a work that I have been putting, which has never been nurtured. But as a country, I think we're better than that. We're better than that, Mama. And I believe there's so many, companies that are just enjoying to be there without, and you find out some companies are not even from South Africa, but they are making money in South Africa. So in foreign country, you cannot, foreigners pay more tax than the citizens. But in South Africa, there's nothing like that. And as a result, as athletes, we even hesitant to do certain things out of our box, because we just want to be comfortable. The lady mentioned the fight that he has to compromise because she's eager to fight. She doesn't get fights because the monies are not there. The people that aren't investing in her craft. So as a result, you'll take everything because you're not desperate. You just want to be active. So yeah, people will take advantage of you because as a result, you want to be active, but they'll give you what you're not worth. If you know what I'm talking about. So it's a difficult and sensitive topic you guys are having today, because when I look at the athletes in South Africa, after your term, you're done. And where else that whereas Bongi as a Protea or Akona as if she retired, she will have a huge role to play in showing somebody else the skill, because he has been there. Whereas as a country, because we don't support our own people, we can hire somebody from whatever country to come to South Africa. She's doing lesser than, or he's doing lesser than what Akona could bring in the table. And we pay that person higher than we should pay our people.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how, when I say South Africans don't celebrate our people, and it's given. It's like that. I've seen in PR or whatever. Instead of taking Hlompho, who won the Champions League 2016, they will look for Samuel Eto'o, who is from Cameroon, to come and talk to Thabang.
It's true. It's true. It's true, Tompa. It's true.
Thabang doesn't relate to Samuel Eto'o. They don't understand the struggles. Samuel Eto'o is from Cameroon. We Africans, I can understand that, but the language and how we operate, the cultures are different. As a villager, I know how to connect with anybody in a space, and I can talk to any kid, and they will understand. They will relate to me when I say, I grew up eating mahoho and with tea. They will understand that. Those are our struggles. But Samuel Eto'o won't understand that. Samuel Eto'o has been to a Real Madrid as a 12-year-old, and he's speaking from a place of not understanding. He's not ignorant. He doesn't understand the struggles in the grassroots level. So I'm saying this, as athletes, we're going through a lot, guys, and we are standing here because we do what we love, and it's easier. I can tell you now, as a Bafana player, I don't take pride in going to play for Bafana than playing for Sundowns.
Yeah.
Reasons being, there's so many things that are happening in Bafana lesser than what are happening in Sundowns. At Sundowns, I'm comfortable. I can get my own salary. It's easier. At the national team,
you're even winning a champion. You're even winning the PSL. How about that? At Bafana, you win nothing.
at Bafana, there's so many things that they are taking part, which limit the talent to expand, which limit and win matches. And we don't see that. All we see is the outside. We don't know what's happening inside. So there's so many issues athletes are facing. And I can tell you now, the Springboks, when they go to a tournament, appearance is R1 million without negotiation.
Wow, are you serious?
And a Bafana going to an AFCON, you're gonna have to sit down and negotiate for that money. They're still using it upstairs, those guys. I don't know if you understand. So it's difficult. And now as players, you understand that it's not only in women. There's so many levels. You need to understand. It's not only women. And as players, sometimes we sit and we're like, guys, we need to be a team. A team that when we approach the government about this, we should be together. Now, the problem is we will be victimized when you speak the truth. It's like when you guys as women, once one woman say, no, I went to look for a job and the boss that side started touching me on my neck. Once you say that, you are victimized, you can get that job because you are speaking the truth. Whereas there's so many things, there's so many challenges that you're gonna face for you to get certain things that you deserve. So as South Africans, we don't celebrate our people. That's what I wanted to say, Mama. Thanks for the opportunity and sorry for taking time.
Wow, you really said a mouthful. You see, all of us are clapping hands because we are saying to you, you said what these athletes wanted to hear. For the mere fact that they are women, they thought that you don't have challenges. And for you to come on board and to tell them that you have challenges as same as they have it. I always tell Bongi, you think you've got challenges, go out there and see other challenges. And now I think Bongi today realizes that President was telling the truth to say, it's not all about us here. It's about a lot of players out there. We have got a lot of challenges. I think this is the beginning of a very good combination of players. If we can have all of you in a group and we start advocating for all athletes, not only this webinar, but I'm going to get all of you. Hlompho, I know you, and they don't know that I know you personally, and it's fine, a boy from home. But I'll get all of you together. That's my promise that I'm making, that we start moving, we start doing something together, and we stop talking, and we go towards making sure that we don't change our lives. Remember, we will plow the tree, but we'll never reap off the fruits of the tree. It's not about us, it's about the coming generation. So we're doing it for the coming generation. We're not doing it for ourselves, and we are going to do it so as tomorrow we are remembered with good things, that we changed the sport in the country. We are the change that we want to see. With those words, I would like to say thank you to each and every one of you and everybody who came into this webinar. It was an eye-opener to me, an eye-opener to a lot of people that are in this webinar. Thank you so much. I love you all. Stay blessed, stay warm. Coronavirus doesn't move, people move. Thank you, bye.